एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। कमाले करामात कायम करीम रजा बख्श राज़क रिहा को रहीम। अमा बख्शो बख्शन देव दस्तगीर रजा बख्श रोज़ी देहो दिल पजीर। शहनशाह खूबी देहो रहनुमो के बेगूनो बेचूनो चूबे नमो। न साजो न बाजो न फौजो न फर्श खुदावंद बख्शन देव ऐशाश। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। We are visiting the Bani of Anand, composed by the third Guru Nanak, Guru Amardas at Goindwal. The Bani of Anand relates to the eternal bliss, which exists in all creation, unconditionally available to all creation and parts of it. A state of our inner being, of our chit, man, that is Anand, unconditional. What is the reason we don't feel this Anand, we don't live this Anand? How can we experience this Anand, and what does this have to do with our approach and attitude of life? We are at the 28th and 29th Pauri of Anand Sahib, and in these two Pauris, Maharaj is giving us, in the first Pauri, a glimpse of the Japji, of the Hukam, which Guru Nanak Sahib mentions, Kiv sachiara hoiye, kiv kude tutte paal, Hukam rizai chalna, Nanak likhya naal. This is a very deep revelation. What is Hukam and what is Home, and a play between these two is the story of all our lives. Our whole life goes into trying to understand this relationship, and our pains, sorrows, joys, and our journey to our inner spirituality has to do with how we approach and research this subject of Hukam and Home. In fact, the journey of spirituality has to do with Turiya, where there is no Home. So the journey is starting from Home, from the ego, and it goes to where there is no ego, where the Turiya Avastha exists, the inner mind's core, the revealed mind to us, where there is no ego, the subconscious, unconscious mind, where the Creator, the darshan of the Creator exists, which is the foundation of our man. People call it universal mind. why we don't approach it, how we don't approach it, why this difficulty exists for us to try and fathom this relationship between ego and hukam, has to do with our own desires, our own walls which we build with ego, which Maharaj calls Kurdipal, false walls of ego. Hukam is a revelation which exists for all of us. But we do not desire hukam, an understanding of the hukam. For us, holding on to our own ego is critical for our identity. Because when there is no ego, then I am not. And I don't know this state of being where I am not. So although I will be journeying into my spirituality, but our lives are more defined by our inner desires of life than by the hukam. And if those desires fall apart, if we do not get those desires which we want, then the whole life goes away in searching for what I want. Whereas this inner peace, the inner joy, the inner happiness, which we feel exists at the end of our desires being revealed to us, is already available to our mind. That happiness which we think we will feel when our desires are fulfilled is already available. It has nothing to do with the desire world. It has nothing to do with the ego world. But we live the ego world. Every day we transact in the I am world. So this second body tells us this play of creation, which Maharaj 2 bodies before mentioned, Shiv Shakti, the way the structure of life is, where Maya and I both, how do they play out? What is the structure of Maya? There again, the concept of ego, the understanding of ego is critical, because Maharaj has already in the Siddhgosht discussed this issue. Kit kit vid jag upje purkha. How does the world come about? Kit kit dukh binas jai. And how does pain go away? Home vid jag upje purkha. Through the ego, the world and the creation comes about. Through the ego world, we all understand what life is by living the ego. Home with jagupche purkha, naam visariye dukh pai. So this whole play of our lives has a transition between the ego and naam. If naam is not a part of our daily routine, it is not a part of our daily experience, then the whole spectrum of our life is limited to the ego. And there the pain arises. Because the reality of life, in its absolute sense, is not the ego. It's a transient sense. The ego is a temporary world. So this understanding of I and Naam, these 2 bodies will guide us on what is the hukum and how the Creator is present everywhere to take care of us. But it is not necessary He takes care of our desires. If the meeting with me and my Creator is conditional to my desires being fulfilled, then I have built a wall between me and my Creator. Whereas if I don't have conditions, whereas if my life's experience tells me that I can transact the Naam without the ego, then I experience both the worlds and a play between the ego and Naam, and the Naam defines my ego world. But in that case, my desire world has to be governed by Naam and not by my ego world. It has to be governed by Hukam and an understanding of Hukam, which is a very subtle word. A subtle world where I don't know what is my Hukam and where do I stop resisting, where do I stop trying to change my environment. So let us go into these two bodies, the 28th and 29th body of Anand Sahib, Guru Amardas Maharaj. Anand is an absolute word. It is no opposite. The world which we live in is a dual world where Naam is this one spectrum and the other spectrum is the ego. The ego is defined by divided energies, by good, bad, rich, poor, low, high, wrong, right. These are the defined parameters where divisiveness defines the world. So where Sukh and Dukh don't exist permanently, but they exist together. Either we are with Sukh or with Dukh, but they both will keep coming and going. Whereas Anand is an unconditional state of experience which is available unconditionally to the one who has opened that experience through the Guru. Let us first read these two bodies and then try and go deeper into what Maharaj is saying.
वाहिगुरु जी।
वाहिगुरु।
विजय, मैं ऑडिबल?
हाँ जी, हाँ।
वाहिगुरु। माता के उदर में प्रतिपाल करे तो क्यों मनो क्यों विसारिए ये बढ़दाता, जे अगन में आहार पहुँचावे उसनों कह कोई न सकी, जिसनों अपनी लिव लावे अपनी लिव आपे लाए, गुरमुख सदा संभालिए कहे नानक ये बढ़दाता, सो क्यों मनो विसारिए। माता के उदर में प्रतिपाल करे तो क्यों मनो विसारिए, मनो क्यों विसारिए ए बढ़दाता, जे अगन में आहार पहुँचावे उसनों कह कोई न सकी, जिसनों अपनी लिव लावे अपनी लिव आपे लाए, गुरमुख सदा संभालिए कहे नानक ए बढ़दाता, सो क्यों मनो विसारिए।
Thank you, Anit. Maharaj. In this body, Maharaj is talking about our understanding of the presence of the Creator. There is nobody who knocks at our door and comes and tells us that I am your Creator. We cannot see, touch, or hear God in the sense of our senses. The whole life experience which we are living is through our senses: eyes, ears, nose, feel, touch. And in this experience, the entity of our Creator, of God, of Guru, is not physically present. And nobody tells us in the morning every day, I have given you every breath you are taking. So it's very easy to ignore that there is somebody who created us. For two reasons. One is apparently this energy who's created us is not available to see in the sense world. The second, it suits our ego. The moment we accept there is someone who has created us, it changes our whole inner paradigm. Which is what Maharaj is again referring to in the Japji when he says, Kiv satyara hoiye. How do I know the Creator, the truth? How am I able to find that revelation of who is my Creator? How do I become that Creator's part? Hukum razai chalna. The part of this hukum razai is acceptance that I am not my own creator. That there is a certain rules, laws governing me and my own life in both paradigms of hukum and on home ego. This whole life is a play between the ego world and the nether world, the grace world of the Guru. Everything is happening between these two. All our pains, sorrows, disappointments, expectations, all our needs, desires are defined by the ego world, by my conditioned mind. I want this, make me happy. I want this, will make me happy. If I don't get this, I will not be able to survive. These are my conditions. But there is another world, and the whole other life which is there in this creation, where there is even the animal world and the plant world is governed by a hukum. They are provided for. If I will take your focus to one of the Shabads, where Maharaj is talking about a turtle. Kummi jal mein tan tis bahar. You see, when a turtle gives birth, it comes out of the water, it lays his eggs and then goes back into the water. It is no longer connected to its siblings, its eggs which it has laid. Maharaj says, Kummi jal mein. The turtle has gone back into the water and tan tis bahar, and the eggs are outside. They are in the shore, the dried. Pant kheer tis nahi. Pankh kheer tis nahi. It doesn't have breasts to feed the children. It doesn't have milk. These two things it doesn't have. Now, who looks after those eggs? Who nurtures life? Is one of the key questions of an understanding of life. When the Americans went and invaded America, and there was those Native Americans who used to live there, and they would, like, for example, want to cut off a tree, and the Native Americans would not give them an answer till they got an answer from nature. They did not accept that they can cut any tree they want. They would sit next to that tree, they would meditate around it, they would wait for an answer till that tree doesn't send them a message by whatever methodology. They will not allow the tree to be cut. So there was a relationship between life, me, and my demands, my requirements, and nature as a provider. In all of historic tribal journeys, if you go, you will find this balance will be there. It is arrived at very naturally, over generations, But when we live only in this ego paradigm and we ignore that there is no other paradigm, which is what the West brings to us. West brings a concept of using at will, of plundering, of affecting the balance of nature without any consequences to be studied or without any meditation of what is happening in creation. Then all life becomes one spectrum, that I am the center of life. And there the whole balance of life goes haywire. So we have now, in that paradigm, we are in denial of hukum. And in some ways, all of us, since we live educated in the West pattern and we live more or less affected by the Western paradigm, the logos or the ego world, we are all affected by this. And that is why Simran, Dhyan, the wandering mind, has become very standard for all of us. And the acceptance of certain changes of life which are unconditionally available. Certain paradigms we do not accept easily, like death, like pain, sorrow. This is the difference between us and how we approach life. Maharaj says, Puran Paramanand Manohar Samaj Dekh Manmai. These eggs are being nurtured by the Creator. And then he gives another example. He says, Pakhan Keet Gupt Hoye Rehta. In a stone, inside a stone, there is an insect. It's inside the stone, it has no way out. Tacho marg nahe, and there is no way that insect has to go out of its hole. There is a hole inside the stone, and in that this insect lives. There is no way out. Who is looking after that? Nurturing that insect inside the stone. So what Maharaj is mentioning to us is that here the tanna, keh tanna puran tahu ko matre ji darahi. Here we need to understand that life is not the paradigm of I am and I am the center of world and creation. This changes everything in life, which is what Maharaj is mentioning to us. Mata ke udar mein pritpal kare, so kyo mano visari. The similar condition to which exists inside a rock, an insect, is when I am existing inside my mother's womb. I have no way out, no way in. There is nothing I can do, nothing I can want, but my needs are being met. So I exist because the Creator wants me to exist. I am in the hukum of the Creator. And that is how we all come into this world, through the hukum of the Creator. And the moment we take birth, we go into denial of the Creator Himself. That is the whole conflict of life. Because we leave the womb and come into the Maya world, which is what Maharaj will mention in the next body. We have come from the hukum and a complete acceptance of the hukum, and we have taken birth in the ego. There is a whole break in our mind structure. Live chutki, or live. Live is the egoless mind, where Naam exists. So this play between the live and me exists right from the womb stage. In fact, even before that, because many lifetimes we have lived. So the one question which Guru Nanak Sahib puts right in the beginning of the Japji will take a lifetime for us to reveal to ourselves. And the revelation of this makes us understand and live through the experience of life. Living an egoless world is not an easy paradigm. It is not easy because we don't know that environment. If we live in the air and breathe the air, we are structured to live and breathe the air. When we are thrown into the water, it causes discomfort. We still need the air. So we are not used to this world where there is no I. And this journey is slow, maybe fast, but has a lot to do with Guru and the play between the relationship between Sikh and Guru. Here again, the ego and guru, there's the play. When the Sikh accepts the guru as the center of his life, where he drops his ego mind, only then the guru enters our life. Where we have accepted that guru is our center, then only the guru comes into our life. But till that we don't do that, this play between my demands and guru keeps happening. My visiting the guru has all to do with my reinforcing my ego. Sev karat hove nehkami. Nehkami is desireless state, where I have no desires. But I visit the guru in that state. But whenever we go to the guru, our mind is full of desires. Even the wanting of Naam is a desire, so to say. Even that's a desire. I want Naam. But that is the one demand which Guru accepts. Mango daan Thakur Naam. He says you ask for Naam. Because that is what is wise. That is what is an understanding of whole life, between life and death. Because this ego has to do with life and death. The Karam world is the ego world, where I am the doer. I am the center of, and I am answerable for everything I do. So if I have done something wrong, I will pay the price accordingly. And everything I do is my trap. So Maharaj says, but you have forgotten who is looking after you at the time of your birth. This is something we have forgotten. Because we don't know that. Nobody sits in front of us and says, I was the one who looked after you in your mother's womb. This is nothing to do with religion. It is not a Sikh, Hindu, Muslim issue. All of creation takes birth in the mother's womb, and the Creator nurtures them. But that experience that we have been nurtured into this life has gone away from us. That acceptance of Hukum Razai Chalan. That I am no longer in that paradigm. I have already taken birth, now I am. So I have forgotten what was happening in my mother's womb. So kyo mano visari? Maharaj says, but question is, why do you forget? Guru is raising a question to us. How have you forgotten who looked after you in your birth state, in your mother's womb? And what is the reason to forget it? Mano kyo visari hai, e vardata. जो अगन में आहार पहुंचावे. One who has fed you in the heat of your mother's womb, what is the reason you have forgotten that? This is the question. We all need to, we can say, of course, there is nobody who looks after us. It just happens with nature. Even if it happens with nature, we need to accept that there is somebody nurturing us, nurturing our life. And there is an unconditionality in that. There are no conditions in which somebody says you have to do this or that or the other, and only then I will give you birth. So life is built on this whole paradigm of unconditional acceptance. There is an acceptance which nature has about a dog, a cat, an animal. Everything about them is looked after. We have cats around the house. Last night, one of the cats entered our house and it took me 2-3 hours to drive her out. But she was finding insects to eat. Everywhere she would walk, she would comfortably eat something or the other. So there is a structure built in the whole of creation in where every sphere of creation is being nurtured in a balance. And that balance is the Hukam, which Guru talks about. But we do not visit this balance of Hukam. All our lives is all desires and wants and needs and I have this need and that need. Maharaj says, Usnu keh po na saki. Usnu keh. But who Guru is trying to look after, nurture, nobody can harm that individual. When nature decides, it will nurture you, it will look after you. Then it will look after you unconditionally. Jisnu apni live lave. Now live is the Naam paradigm, Maharaj. So we were taking birth in the Creator, in the mother's womb, and we come into the ego and our live breaks. Live chutki lagi trishna. Which is what we visit in the next body. So there is this connection between our man and the Creator which exists in the womb. The question is why we can't live that experience after we have taken birth of the womb. This is one of the key questions of our life. What has so changed that I cannot live that experience of live which I had just one fraction of a second ago in my mother's womb. But the moment I come out, I'm in denial of live. What has changed? The senses have pulled my energy to themselves. I'm getting prepared to live the ego world because life has a Maya also to nurture. Play of life in the next body, which Guru is giving us the structure of between Maya, the me, and the Hukam. And how Maya is part of Hukam. Home Hukam hai. This home ego world is also part of the Creator's Hukam. That's not in dispute. But what is in conflict is that I am in denial of the fact that there is a center of life which is not I, but it is the Hukam. And the Hukam is the Naam, Hukam is the live which exists. There's the Creator who has created me, created all of us. We don't know who's that Creator. We don't feel, we don't experience. But life's journey has everything to do with this transition from the ego man to the non-ego man, which Guru calls Unman. Eh man le jiyo, Unman rahe. Ta teen log ki baatein kahe. So the man has certain layers in it. And the most which we experience is the ego man, the my ego. And we only live this ego man, I am. We do not transcend beyond the ego man, beyond the thought world, thinking world. What reveals to us when we go into this Hukam world, which Guru Nanak Sahib talks about, which Guru Amar Das is talking about here, the live. Jisnu apni live lave. He, the Creator, blesses us to transcend into the live world. But we don't accept there is a Creator. There is someone who nurtures us, someone who looks after us, because our desire worlds are not getting fulfilled. So we feel always we are cut short. I am not getting what I want, so I always feel unsatiated, unfulfilled. I am not being looked after enough because of my want world, because of my ego world. But what if there is everything we are all looking for available to us in the inner mind, in the live, when we don't get anything of the physical world, anything. Everything is in denial to us. But yet there is a man which is available to us, which experiences absolute bliss. Now, how do we define these two and find the way out from this problem? The physical world is a conflict world, and there may be a play between desires, and we have to struggle or not struggle, depending on the defined paradigm of the ego mind. But in the end of the day, whatever is transpiring in the ego man is not going to fulfill us. We still will want more. Even if we get. And if we don't get, then we blame our whole life and say we did not get, so I did not live life as I should have lived. So the Creator is responsible. The Creator is not done justice. Maharaj says this is to be questioned. Why I forget the Creator? Because I am not getting my desires. And the desires will never get fulfilled. That world is not the world where fulfillment happens. Otherwise, the creation structure would not be what it is. The present structure of society is showing to us that no desire will fulfill us. Even if we bomb people, kill them, even then our desire doesn't go away. We've taken people's land, we've taken their rights, even then our desires don't go away. We want to annihilate the other completely, and even then we are not satisfied. We want to cut jungles. There is no end to how much we can destroy. Because we live in the I am the center of life. Our whole life, we are the center of our life, not the Creator. One whose life is centered on the Creator side, there the live comes into play. There the Unman becomes an experience. Their Naam gives satiation to the man. Naam japat trishna sab bujhi hai. Your life of change, life of unfulfillment, and here the life is completely fulfilled, is completely defining our life. But we have that experience of inner man to understand life. If we don't have that experience, then we only talk about it. And we all imagine it only. But if we sit in Naam, if we calm ourselves, center ourselves, then that experience is available to us all. Maharaj says, Apni live ape lai. And here the Creator blesses us. The Creator connects us to Himself. He gives us. Gurmukh sada samaliye. But the Gurmukh always looks after that, nurturing through the live. If I am in denial, if I am in ego man, then I will not look after that and nurture what the Creator is giving me, the live. I will wander into the ego world again and again and again and be in denial of this life. Keh Nanak evad data, so kyo mano visari. So in this Shabad, in this Pauri, Maharaj is telling us that Hukam is the creation of life. And we should not forget that we have been created by the Creator. There is something known as Naam and Live and Hukam, Shabad in our life, in our inner man, which we need to work on, which is an opportunity to open the inner door of our life, where life unconditionally provides to us whatever we are asking for. Thirtieth Pauri, 29th Pauri, sorry. Harneet.
ईश्वर। जैसी अगन उदर में तैसी बाहर माया, माया अगन सब खोजेगी, करता खेल रचाया। जां तिस भाना तां जमया, परवार भला पाया। लिव छुटकी लगी तृष्णा, माया अमर वरताया। ए माया जित हर विसरै, मोह उपजै भाओ दूजा लाया। कहे नानक गुर प्रसादी, जिना लिव लागी, तिनी विचे माया पाया। जैसी अगन उदर में तैसी बाहर माया, माया अगन सब इको जेही, करतै खेल रचाया। जां तिस भाना तां जमया, परवार भला पाया। लिव छुड़की लगी तृष्णा, माया अमर वरताया। ए माया जित हर विसरै, मोह उपजै भाओ दूजा लाया। कहे नानक गुर प्रसादी, जिना लिव लागी, तिनी विचे माया पाया। कहे नानक गुर प्रसादी, जिना लिव लागी, तिनी विचे माया पाया।
Thank you, Arneet. Vaheguru Maharaj. Guru says there is a structure in life, and he is explaining in detail to us the play between the creation and me. जैसी अगन उदर में तैसी बाहर माया. Like in our mother's womb, the heat around around the womb was nurturing me. Like that, Maya in everyday life, which is the outside world, is nurturing life. If there is no Maya, then there is only the Creator. So Maya is that duality which is created by the Creator for life to exist. Maya agan sab ikko jehi, करते खेल रचाया. This is the Leela, the play. Par Brahm ki Leela. This is the play of the Creator. The Creator has created Maya as a part of life. If there is no Maya, then there is no life. So life exists as a play between Maya and another Naam, live, Hukam, and the other paradigm. The recognition of the Creator as the Creator of Maya will make us move towards the Creator. If I recognize that the Maya is created by the Creator, then I must find the Creator. Who has created me? Who has created Maya? What is my source? There is where all the conflicts will go away of life. जैसी अगन उदर में तैसी बाहर माया, माया अगन सब इको जेही, करते खेल रचाया. जां तिस भाना तां जम्मया, परवार भला पाया. Because the Creator has so desired, so we have taken birth and found a family. Live छुटकी लगी तृष्णा. My connection to my Creator has fallen at the time of birth. Live छुटकी लगी तृष्णा. That live has broken at the time of birth. Maya amar vartaya. And I have entered the senses world, the Maya world, the ego world, the thinking world, the karam world. What is the way out? One way is what yogis have thought. Hati bati rahe niralum. I do not want to work. I will give away hatti batti. All my businesses I don't want. Hatti batti rahe niralum. I will not go into the marketplace. I will not go into the business place. I'll give up life. So Maya is gone. But Maya does not go away like this. As a counter to that, Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj says, Hati Bati Neend Na Aave. Live, do your work. Do what you are doing. But don't go to sleep. Don't go to the sleep about the reality of life. And then that is at the surface. How do I awaken? How do I understand life? How does the paradigm of this experience of the inner world, the home world, and the another world break? Live chutki lagi trishna maya amar vartaya. Eh maya jit har visre. Moh upje paho duja laya. When you have forgotten the Creator, Maharaj says, there the issue arises. Eh maya jit har visre. Moh upje. There our connections to life becomes mohit. We become drawn into life in the physical world. Paho duja laya. And we have found that there is the other. There is the other as the center of creation. I am the center of creation, not the Creator. Eh Maya jit har visre. When we have forgotten the Creator. When our live breaks from the Creator. So what is the way out, Maharaj says? How do I live this world and yet be disconnected from it? जैसे जल में कमल निरालम मुर्गाई ने साने सुरत शब्द. Maharaj says the key lies in this experience of Surat and Shabad, which is the live. Surat Shabad. Keh Nanak Gur Prasadi. This is the fourth condition of Naam. One was the presence of Shabad. One is the desire I have for Shabad. Stable mind, Shabad Guru. And then love for Naam. Unconditional love exists in Naam. And the fourth condition was Gur Prasad, Guru's Kirpa. Maharaj says, Keh Nanak Gur Prasadi, Jin live lagi. And when Guru blesses us, how does this happen? Where the wandering mind ceases its wandering and then connects to the Creator. Live. With love it exists. Only with love we can find it. Jin prem kiyo tin hi prapaya. If we do not have love in our bhakti, there will be no jugti. Maharaj says, Keh Nanak Gur Prasadi, Jinna live lagi. Those who are blessed by the Creator, Gur Prasad, Tinni Viche Maya Paya. Living in this Maya, living in this physical desire world, you will be free of it. But how, Maharaj? Maharaj says by connecting from Surat to the Shabad. By having a focused mind connected to Shabad. By living the Hukam world while experiencing the Home world. Knowing that the Home is not a permanent paradigm. Knowing the ego is not a permanent state of being. I connect to the Creator. By going into my stable mind, non-moving mind, thoughtless mind. Jat pahara tirad sunyar. Aaron mat vedatyar. Surat and Shabad is the live lagi, tinni viche maya paya. While living the physical world, while experiencing the Pohog world, living it the way we are all living, same paradigm, nothing different, but the mind is different. The way the mind approaches the subject of life is different. The way the mind sees is different. The way it feels, the way it recognizes change, the way it recognizes life is become very different, because it does not see the world as I am the center of life. For this person, for such a person, Hukum is the center of life. And he is moving between Home and Hukum. Kahe Nanak Gur Prasadi Jina live lagi, tinni viche maya paya. So how does this go about, Maharaj? We can find Naam in our lives in many ways. Through Seva, Simran Seva, where Seva is that action done in the love of another without asking for an account. Sev karat hove neh kami. There is no desire for it. So the ego gets dropped. Till we don't drop the ego, this journey will not begin. And in love of Naam, it will happen. If I sing the Shabad of Guru with love, then Naam comes our way, then ego goes away. Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye, pao. If I have sung the Shabad with love, the Rag is love, then the love ensures my Home is gone. Home Naame naal virod hai, doye na bas ek tha. Either love will live or ego will live, not two together. So in my daily life, if I live with my Shabad and Surt, does it mean I have to sit for many hours? It may mean that, it may not mean that. It is a story which is different for everyone. But what can I do? I can sing the Shabad, meditate on the Shabad, do Dhyan of the Shabad, do Seva and Simran together. My mind doesn't become thoughtless, it doesn't become stable. Let me do some Seva. But mind you, it should not be a public show. It should not be like a meeting with when you're distracted. Wherever our mind is sthir, our mind is stable, our mind has found its foundation and it is thoughtless. Even doing seva in a langar, where it becomes calm, where its desires go away, it becomes satiated. I don't know if you tried it, but you cook your own food one day, go and distribute it in the langar. But don't ask for with any desires in mind, and Naam will come your way. Because you are desireless. You are doing a small task which doesn't require thought. Thought will go away. Naam will come our way. We sing the Gurbani, we do Dhyan of Shabad. Gaviye, suniye, do Kirtan. There are 4 or 5 ways in which this can be done. But unfortunately, most of us will be devoid of this experience because we do not want to make that journey from our ego mind. So, Sant Maharaj used to tell me, then pray. Nothing else works. The last resort you have is prayer. Andkoop mein patid pikral, Nanak kaad liho prabh daya. But it should be your inner desire. That's where it starts from. Jat pahara. Jat literally means we are moving our energy from the senses world to the spirit world. We make a change, yatan. Then we have dheeraj. We are calm and restful, not pressured. Moved from our ego mind, moved from the karam world where everything else is a chaos maybe. May not be chaos, but may be chaos. Blessed are those people who have a life where it's easy to handle the karam world, where very little ambitions are there. Then the mind is calmer, mind is more at rest. But some of us get trapped in these situations unknowingly. where we cannot deal with our day-to-day chores, where we cannot deal with our day-to-day issues, they become dominating our man. There the potential of Naam is even higher. Because the change is far more dramatic. If we commit to Naam in love of Guru, there viche maya paya. Yogis tell Maharaj this, that we don't work, we don't have ambition, we don't go to the marketplace, andkoop, we eat kandamul, vegetables which grow around. So our desires from life are minimal. Fair enough. We go to Tirath Naiye. These are what they tell Guru Maharaj, this is how we transcend the world. Maharaj says, but bin naame man tek na tiki, nanak bhukh na jaye. What's the state of your mind? Whatever the physical conditions you are living in, bin naame man tek na tiki, is your mind stable, thir? Nanak bhukh na jaye. Has its desires gone away? Satiation has come? Or the desire has changed its form? Where you were desiring family life, now you are desiring a structure of a congregation of sons. That is also part of the desire. Now this is a second family. So you replaced one family with another. You replaced one desire with another desire. And like you were unsatiated in the physical world, in the life world, similarly you are unsatiated now in this yogi world. Now ambition of I will become the leader, ambition of I have only few things, but those few things are your only desires. Nanak bin naame man tek na tiki, nanak bhukh na jaye. Your hunger is not gone away. Your anger shows it, your frustration is shown. You may have replaced one method of life with another, but the basic structure of the man is unsatiated. It is not fulfilled. It is not at rest. It has not found the key to the man. It does not have Naam in it. Bhukh na jaye. It has not found Anand. Anand is one of the environments which exist to that person who has met the Guru in a desireless state. Anand paya meri mai Satguru mein paya. Which is what Maharaj is explaining to us, live. Where is your live? Where is my live? When I sit in Sangat, do I connect to live? Am I able to connect? Instantly is connection. Maharaj says, Nimak mahe. And that tells me that I am in a journey where Naam is now the paradigm which governs me. The moment I keep going into Naam, it will nurture me, take care of me. Like in the mother's womb, Naam will nurture my life and it will take care even beyond death. But then I must have Naam, I must have the live, I must have the Thirman. Nijkar, Sahaj, Ter kar beso har din pyare. Satgur tumre kaaj saware. This is the nurturing. Satgur tumre kaaj saware. You can have the physical desires, you can have the physical world, you can live that physical world, but while living in it, free of it. How? By being connected to Naam and Shabad. By making Naam and Shabad my paradigm environment, my more permanent environment, my unconditional environment of experience of life. Life is not bound by conditions. It is always changing. It is always something which brings new turns to our life. जो अनहोनी होए. What is unexpected will happen here. But Naam is my security blanket of life. Naam is my inner experience of life. Live is my inner experience of life. How do I live it? Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye paao. So that is why I'm trying to make this effort of us, encouraging us to move towards Dhyan. Dhyan and Shabad, Surt and Shabad. To move towards first stable mind and then experience the Shabad. So we may feel something different. Then it was done differently. Sant Maharaj used to have this early morning sessions of Kirtan, which is Dhyan and Shabad. Different world altogether. He used to do it in darkness like we do now. That is one way of Dhyan and Shabad happening. O bhi chandan hoye rahe, base jo chandan paas. The trees around the sandalwood become sandalwood. So if we do Dhyan with someone who is doing Dhyan, if we stabilize our mind with someone who is already in Dhyan, then we also become Dhyanast. We sing together, one mind, we become one mind. That is one way. The other way is we learn what is Dhyan, and in that then we, on an individual basis, sit at home and we can do our Dhyan and Shabad. Our mind is wandering. That is the key problem. So this happens with us because our mind is wandering. The Shabad experience doesn't come to us. Then it doesn't transcend to live. But when we find love in our singing of Kirtan, then be certain that we are in the right direction. The 28th and 29th body of Anand Sahib we have done today. If you have any questions, you can raise your hands. We can unmute you. So if there is no questions, then we can end the session with Anand Sahib as the culmination. 6 bodies we will do. Arneet ji, you will do Anand Sahib?
जी।
Thank you.
Should I begin?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
राम कली महला पूजा आनंद एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद आनंद पया मेरी माए सतगुरु मैं पाया सतगुर का पाया सहज सेती मन बचियां बाधां
रतन परवार भरिया सब दान आइया शब्दो तब हरि के राम बसाया कहे नानक आनंदोबा गुरु में पाया हे मन मेरा तू सदा रो हर नाले हर नाल रहो तू मन मेरे दुख सब विसारना अंगीकारो हो करे तेरा सब सवारना सब नागला समरथ स्वामी सो क्यों मनो विसारे कहे नानक मन मेरे सदा रो हर नाले सहदेवा क्या नहीं करते रह करता तेरे सब कुछ है जिस देह सो पावे सदा सिर्फ सलाह तेरी नाम मन वसावे नाम जिनके मन वसया वाजे शब्द कनेरे कहे नानक होते साहिब क्या नहीं करते रे सच्चा नाम मेरा आधारो ਸਾਜ ਨਾਮ ਆਧਾਰ
ਆਧਾਰ
ਮੇਰਾ,
ਮੇਰਾ ਤਿਨ
ਭੁੱਖਾਂ ਸਭ ਗਵਾਈਆਂ, ਕਰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਸੁਖ ਮਨ ਆਏ ਵਸਿਆ, ਛਾਂ ਸਭ ਪੁਜਾਈਆਂ, ਸਦਾ ਕੁਰਬਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰ ਮਿਟੋ, ਜਿਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਇਹ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ, ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਣ ਸੰਤੋ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਧਰੋ ਪਿਆਰੋ, ਸਾਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ, ਵਾਜੇ
ਵਾਜੇ ਪੰਜ
ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਿਤ ਕਰ ਸਵਾਗੇ, ਕਰ ਸਵਾਗੇ
ਭਾਗੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਭਾਗੇ,
ਕਲਾ ਜਿਤ ਕਰ ਤਾਰੀਆ, ਪੰਚ ਦੂਤ ਦਵਸ ਕੀਤੇ, ਕਾਲ ਕੰਟਕ ਮਾਰਿਆ, ਤੁਰ ਕਰਮ ਪਾਇਆ ਤੁ ਜਿਨ ਕੋ, ਸੇ ਨਾਮ ਹਰ ਕੇ ਲਾਗੇ, ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਤੈ ਸੁਖ ਹੋਆ, ਤਿਤ ਕਰ ਅਨਹਦ ਵਾਜੇ, ਆਨੰਦ ਸੁਣੋ ਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਹੋ, ਸਗਲ ਮਨੋਰਥ ਪੂਰੇ, ਆਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਪਾਇਆ, ਉਤਰੇ ਸਗਲ ਵਿਸੂਰੇ, ਦੁਖ ਰੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਉਤਰੇ, ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ, ਸੰਤ ਸਾਜਨ ਕੈ ਸਰਸੇ, ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੀ, ਸੁਣਤੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਕਹਤੇ ਪਵਿੱਤ, ਸਤ ਗੁਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਭਰਪੂਰੇ, ਬੇਨਵੰਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਲਾਗੇ, ਵਾਜੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਸੂਰ, ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ, ਮਾਤਾ ਤਰਤ ਮਹਤ, ਦਿਵਸ ਰਾਤ ਦੋਇ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ, ਖੇਲੇ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ, ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਬੁਰਾਈਆਂ, ਵਾਚੇ ਧਰਮ ਦੂਰ, ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ, ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ, ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ, ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ, ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ, ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ, ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਹਰਨੀਤ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਆਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਫਤਿਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ।